When people try to call me a guru or a scammer or a course seller, I like to do something called show you a playlist of me live trading every single day from my Discord where I record and have proof of all my executions. I love being up $34,000 on the month on a win streak. Let's talk about today's trades. So, first things first, let's head on over to the pre-market and let's talk about the market narrative conditions. I took 3 trades today and I'll explain each of them right now. So first things first, we were hovering at all-time highs with these London lows holding up as the point of our all-time highs on both pairs here. However, that was yesterday, and it seems like we've just been dumping ever since the overnight session. So if we wanted to find out when we opened up during our Asia session last night, it was over here. And as I literally say over and over and over again, what the Nasdaq likes to do is chop up for these 2 sessions, and then of at the end of the London session, when we have New York opening, we get the move that we want. So you notice how we were stuck in this range for Asia. We broke out during London, but we went right back in. We went right back in. The only breakout that we had was just a liquidity sweep, right? It's textbook stuff. It really is. Anyways, let's talk about today's trades. So first things first, I did anticipate longs after we got this sweep right here, but we just didn't get enough confirmation for me to actually go fully in with that trade since we didn't really have a proper structure break. And on top of that as well, on ES, we just shot right up and instantly took nearly every single one of our session draws and liquidity. Okay. We took Asian London high in an instant, while at the same time top taking day and midnight open. Since we do have FOMC news coming out later today at 2 p.m., as well as Jerome Powell, Fed chair, speaking, I really didn't anticipate too much and didn't want to hop into anything crazy after the market opened. So I actually decided to wait until the 950 to 1010 macro, which I trade a lot just because it's super what's it called? It's super probable for my trades to hit with my specific model that I've caught 3 trades in a row with today. And it's something that I fuck with heavy. So first things first, let's talk about this trade right here. Okay. So as you can see here, we do form an internal SMT. All right. We formed an internal SMT right here. Where is it, dude? We're forming an internal SMT right about here. Notice how on ES we took, or on NQ we took all these lows down here. However, on ES we didn't even come close. So we're forming that internal SMT, right? Or sorry, fucking, dude, I'm geeking now. External SMT. We formed an external SMT. Okay, that was an external SMT. I'm not gonna mark it out because it's, I'll mark it out. It's just a little aids to kind of do it. Let's just figure it out. So we're gonna head on over to the 5 minute because I'm like live trading right now. I'm not live trading, but like the markets are open. And it's just whenever I switch the chart POV, it just takes me fucking to the middle of nowhere, and it's just so annoying, dude. Like it literally just did like 2 seconds ago. Like see, I'll go on like the 5 minute here, and I just can't see anything. There we go. So SMT here, and then boom, boom. Right. So one of these. That's the little annoying bit about it. When did we take this trade? Over here. Yeah, so it's like all the way up here. Yeah, actually like right here. Okay, cool. There's our external SMT, and then let's talk about our internal SMT. We had an internal SMT form right here with the 942 to 945 candle here just before the macro. So it's marked out as a little SMT, little baby SMT. So yeah, as you can see, if we were to go to the 45 macro, or sorry, 45 candlestick on each one, it lines up with a divergence right here. And I guess I can take this guy right here and move it right there. All right, cool. So we have our internal plus external SMT we have our trend continuation bias. See how the Nasdaq has been consistently moving up, or sorry, ES has been consistently moving up, and NQ has been, it was up, then it took a fat dip. That's a divergence in price telling us that, you know, the Nasdaq slash ES wants to keep moving higher. Well, actually, I guess it means ES wants to keep moving higher and Nasdaq wants to follow. So what did I do? I waited for my model to present itself. We did have an inverse fair value gap right here close out. It was on the 1 minute, I do believe. No, it was on the 3 minute. Was it on the 5 minute? I'm pretty sure it was on the 3 minute. Yeah, it was on the 3 minute here. Okay, we had this fair value gap close out, and I waited for a little bit of a pullback here. And I took half of my size off. Let me actually turn my executions on real quick. And I'll explain this in a second here too as well. So I actually took half of my size off when we reached midnight open, for the reason that while we also reached midnight open was the same time that we came up and reached these highs on this candlestick that took Asia highs when the market opened. So that was my point when I went half off break even so I could preserve capital and continue trading, right? So eventually got break even on that trade off of this gigantic displacement candle, which is just fine. We still printed dough today. And let's talk about this next trade here. Did I move my freaking, I feel like I moved this, dude. Did I move it? I may have moved it. Dude, I don't know. What? Hold up one sec. Okay, so to continue, here's a second trade that I was going to take, and I'm about to explain to you why. So we had formed an internal SMT here at these highs, tapped midnight again. Like, see how certain levels have key resistance and support to them. That's kind of what like order flow traders do, like top and bottom tick, which by the way is like the stupidest fucking thing ever. And I'll show you why as well. I'll actually show you why. I literally made a freaking drawing of it, and I'll just low key show this to you right quick. So I was basically telling my students like, yo, dude, this is what happens when you follow a trading plan that has a 1 to 2 RR like mine does and has an 83% statistically proven win rate. You win most of your days, and then you have 1 day of like a loss. And then when you do the high RR strategy, obviously you're going to have to lose more before you win, since on 1 day you'll win a lot more. But overall, you're still making the same amount of money, and it doesn't matter. On top of that, you need to stay in trades for longer, which ruins your psychology. You need to stay on the charts for longer. You basically need to work more. It's just the stupidest thing ever, because you're waiting for a level to get hit. For me, I'm not waiting for anything. I'm waiting for what's happening in real time. Like these order flow traders, they have to wait for price to draw to a certain place. You know, for me, I just wait and like react off of what's happening. I trade for this. I trade for this watch that's on my wrist. I trade for this beautiful view that's behind me that you can't see because my freaking camera is just a little dookie right now. But dude, like, you gotta trade for the right reasons, guys. Don't be trading to be catching high R plays. Trade to make some money. That being said, this next trade right here had an internal SMT form as well as heavy displacement candles on both pairs here. So if you take a look at ES, see how we get an insane displacement candle off of the formation with the SMT, and then a further confirmation with a displacement candle to continue moving down. So this is exactly what I wanted to enter a trade, especially since we had inverse the 30-second fair value gap, and I wanted to set my my stops at like either these highs or some shit. I don't know. I was gonna set my stops somewhere and then target I had a certain draw written out. Yeah, it was this little drawn liquidity down here. And I wanted to target this drawn liquidity. So this would have been the trade. It would have been all the way down here. Okay? But dude, this is the first time it's ever happened to me, which is super, super weird. And I was literally live on stream doing this shit, dude. I was trying to execute my trade, and it just kept telling me like error, brokerage error, network error or something. And I pressed it over and over and over again, bro. And it just didn't let me execute. And I'm like, are we kidding right now? And the crazy part about it too is that I wouldn't have even gotten stopped at our break even, because it would have looked like this. Once we would have taken these highs, or sorry, these lows right here, I would have went break even. And see how we never come back up to break even. So that's just like super unfortunate. But honestly, what can you do? I'm not mad. I didn't tilt about it. I just talked with my chat and explained the trade, and everyone was happy at the end of the day. So let's just talk about this last trade then, right? Because I kind of got it as like not really a revenge trade, but like I still wanted to look for something and make sure it was good. That being said, we came up, nearly tapped midnight open level as well once more. Okay, key resistance and support levels. I'm telling you guys, this shit is so fire, and I teach my entire model on my Discord, dude. It's just fire. There was this 1 minute IFVG on both NQ and ES. We inversed it while forming the SMT as a continuation to keep heading lower to that specific draw on liquidity. And I executed my order off of the closure, off of the bearish closure on that inverse right there. I did get stopped at our break even for half of my size here. See it buy 6, buy 5, and then I executed 11 on here. But like I said, it's still bread on the day. It's still W's, bro. I'm still winning. Just going break even is literally saving me from losing money. That's what I love about break even trading. It's just that it's like as little. Here's the thing: as little amounts of money every single day. But the funny part about it is it's not actually little amounts of money. It's little amounts of points. But guess what? Guess what? Guess what? If you just get more capital and more funded accounts, you can have as much money as you want for the same amount of points. Like for example, TGR could have taken this exact same trade on his live account and made like $100,000. It doesn't matter how many points you're catching or if you go break even. What matters is how good of a trader you are, right? I went break even at these lows right here, took my partials off here, and I guess we've just been dumping ever since. So that being said, I am going to be going live in my Discord today for FOMC. That should be super, super exciting. Hopefully print some more bread today for that. If you learned anything, drop a like and a comment. Let me know what you learned. And dude, join the equity inner circle if you're not in already. We get so many people in, and I'm so grateful for it because I teach to the best of my ability. I teach my model. I teach discipline within trading. I teach strategies on how to become profitable. Bro, I literally give all the value for free, and it's literally like $100, dude. Like, if people aren't prepared to spend that, but they'd rather keep blowing funded accounts than like, to each their own, right? But me personally, I love doing the things that I do for this space, and I'm probably never gonna stop doing it because waking up to a message saying, yo, bro, like literally, like the reason I'm recording this trade recap is obviously because I gotta do this every single day just because I love doing it for you guys. But I just get a message from some guy on Instagram here. Okay, I'll read it off to you. He says, I appreciate your recaps on YouTube and the transparency. I blew 3 accounts today, and I'm going to practice with your content until October. It's been a tough journey, and I'll never give up, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, I get DMs like this on a daily basis, and I'm like, yeah, I got to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. So that being said, if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, join the Discord, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.